Hello everyone, Bill here from Napierdalać. Today I want to show you the mix for Drums of War. I want to show you some of the stems and whatnot. In this first video we're going to look at drums, and then in the future we're going to look at guitar, bass and all that bollocks. So first things first, drums were recorded by myself, performed by Mr. Cameron Booth. We've done it down in the amazing new Adelphi Studios. This is kind of an exploration of all the stems and the production behind it, so I hope you enjoy it. If you haven't already, do check out the single and the music video. It's up on streaming services, so yeah, go check it out. But yeah, let's crack on. So this is what the drums sound like. This is the intro. Alright, cool. Let's have a look around the kit. So, first of all, this is the kick drum. This is what this sounds like. Let's turn all the processing off. That's just the raw sound of the mics. I use 3 different mics, kick in, beta 91A. Mid kick in the sound hole, Audix D6. And on the outside, we had a C414. On the inside, I'm using that primarily for high end, as you can see. That's what the 91's good at. So actually in the mix, that's what it sounds like. Then mix in the 414 with low end. And the D6 kind of just helps flesh it out really. There's no processing on this at all. The D6 already kind of has that kick drum mid scoop EQ on it by default, which is handy. In terms of bus processing for the kick drum, we've got a few things going on. I've got a gate. I don't like heavily gating drums too much, so this isn't particularly strong. There's a fairly long hold on there. So it's silent in more ambient parts, but like in the faster parts it's not ducking in and out really. EQ, fairly simple. Just refining that sound. Getting the bits we want to cut through to cut. Compression. 4:1 ratio, fast attack, slow attack, sorry. Slow release, and we've got about -6 dB in reduction here. Lastly, Saturn 2. I use this just to help shape the tone of the drum. Saturn 2 is great for making bass just sound huge as well. Yeah, it just makes it sound a bit cleaner. Again, we're scooping more mids out. Not using any drive here, but the dynamics are fairly reduced. I've got this set to 0.3, and that keeps the kick drum at a very consistent level, which makes it much easier to mix. So yeah, Saturn 2, very useful. In terms of plugins, by the way, I am mostly using the FabFilter suite, because it's good, and you don't really need much else. Cool, let's move on to snare. So it used 2 mics on the snare drum. On the top we used an M201 and the same on the bottom. So with all the processing off, this is the top, that's the bottom. both together. Cameron Booth, who performed drums, has not a very high-end snare. It's kind of weird. It's unique, but I like it. It's cool. It's got like a Kevlar head and stuff. It's fucking amazing. Anyway, processing-wise, first things first, we got the gate. Now it's heavy, more heavily gated than the kick drum, but it's, you know, it's not on and off. There's still a fairly long release. We've also got the look ahead as well, so we're not losing that fundamental attack. I was really happy with how little spill we actually got through these mics. Made processing the snare much easier than it was on the last EP. EQ, getting rid of any bass we don't need, getting rid of anything above about 14 kilohertz. Boosting 4.5K there, as well as the fundamental. This just adds a bit of air to the snare, really. Next, compression. Not a whole lot going on. Again, slow attack, fast release. We're just increasing the resonance of the snare, really. Saturn 2, just for a bit of tape saturation. And I'm using the soft clipper just to get maximum punch in the mix, really. This is a Reaper plugin. It's a JavaScript one. It's a JS soft clipper / limiter. Works quite well. Snare and kick together. Very much the meat and potatoes of the kit there. And we do have a bit of cymbal noise in the snare mic, which is fine. I'm going to move on to overheads next, and then we'll talk about the toms. For overheads, we used 2 condenser mics, the KM184s. They worked well, they captured everything pretty good. We had them quite high up, so we got less kit, was the plan. First of all is scooping out some of that bottom end. Next, compression. Just reducing those dynamics a bit, really. Saturn 2 is kind of where all the magic happens here. I've reduced the dynamics quite a bit. I had a problem with one of, or both of Cameron's crashes. They're quite short, which is good for blast beats when it's all like shh. But in the longer sections, or in the more ambient sections I should say, when you want a nice long crash, I go shh. They didn't really do that, so reducing the dynamics with Saturn 2 kind of helped push that. Let's find a more quiet section. If I turn off Saturn 2, they decay very quickly in the mix. You can still hear it ringing there, obviously, but in the mix they kind of fall below where you can hear them quite quick. And yeah, we've kind of just reduced any of the lower stuff here and made the actual bits of the cymbals nice and loud. So overheads, snare and kick. This is what we got so far. Cool, right, obviously we need toms now, especially for this song. We had 4 different toms, which was nice, most toms I've ever recorded. So yeah, nice meaty tom sounds there. This is what they sound like without any processing. Nice and beefy, not much spill again, which is always nice. So again, made processing very easy. On some of these toms, I've got gates, EQ and compression. Not all of them needed an EQ though, really. So let's do this one. So without the gate, obviously you can hear other stuff. You can get toms a lot heavier and get away with it quite easily, especially if your spill's not too bad. And then compression. I'm using floor mid sustain and control preset here, and I've just dialed that in. Again, we're reducing the dynamics, so the sustain of the drum is louder basically. 5:1 ratio, and we're getting about minus 8 dB of reduction. Cool, and on the master bus, first of all, we just got a nice mid scoop here. Just gets rid of some of that boxiness, and then some more compression. There's a much faster compression, just helps level things out really. In parallel to that, we have a smash. Basically what I've done here is done a really stupid mid scoop, and then I've added another JavaScript plugin called Wave Shaping Distortion. I've set that to 93% on its own. Sounds like this. Hopefully we had some toms. Basically what that does is it gets the dum and the tss of the drums, which is very nice. So you get a very, again, mid-scooped sound. But because it's so distorted, it cuts through quite nicely. Okay, finally, for microphones we have the room mics. Oh, I should say as well, on toms we used the 41 mic on all of them, which serves brilliantly for toms. Room mics, finally. These are a pair of 414s placed in the corner of the rooms, and basically just have reverb on here. This is mixed 100%, so this is a fully wet reverb. And this is fairly subtle in the overall thing. But it just helps fill out the drum mix a little bit. In parallel to the drum bus, we got again a reverb, which I'm automating the volume of really. You can hear it as it goes from this intro into the main beat. The reverb comes a lot less. Which is, you know, it's what you want for tighter stuff. But it is there. Next thing we have is a smash. So this is just a boatload of 22:1 ratio compression. That's a really overly compressed sound that again just helps the drums cut through. Finally, let's look at the master bus for the drums. So this is what they sound like without any processing. Add a bit of compression to help glue everything together. Quite an aggressive compression this, but it works well. Saturn 2. Again, tonally shaping just the entire kit here. A bit of a mid scoop, a bit of a bass boost, and quite a bit of treble. Oh no, these are set differently. So these are the different EQs for each band here. As you can see, I've distorted the bottom end a bit more. Again, Saturn 2 is very good for that. Finally, we're using again this soft clipper plugin. Just to squeeze all the fucking volume possible out of this kit. So yeah. There you go. That's drums for the song Drums of War. Performed by Mr. Cameron Booth. A big thanks to him. He's been playing a lot of live shows with us recently, so if you enjoy his drumming, fucking come along. Yeah, check out the single if you haven't already. There's a music video as well on this YouTube channel, so go check that out. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, stay tuned for the other instruments, I guess. But yeah, cheers guys.